Right now at 4, guilty on all counts. America's dad could be locked up for the rest of his life after a jury in Bill Cosby's retrial convicted the comedian on indecent sexual assault.
And protecting pets in Chautauqua County, lawmakers approved an online database to track animal abusers. How lawmakers hope it will keep these people from hurting animals again.
And preventing danger at the bus stop. Go along for the ride as local law enforcement makes sure drivers obey the rules around your child's bus. We'll show you how they're cracking down.
From the station with the most local news, this is News 4 at 4.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. In your top 4 at 4, Bill Cosby has been found guilty in his sexual assault retrial. A jury found him guilty in all 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault just this afternoon.
The comedian and actor could spend the rest of his life in prison. As a result, the 2-week trial focused on the accusations of Andrea Constand. She says that Cosby drugged and molested her at his suburban Philadelphia mansion back in 2004. The jury also heard from 5 other women, including former model Janice Dickinson. All of them testified that Cosby committed the same crimes against them.
Cosby has always maintained his relationship with Constand was consensual. His defense team questioned her credibility, calling her a pathological liar who would say anything.
What we have all seen here throughout this trial and last trial is a district attorney that was obsessed with catching a big fish, just like their star witness, Andrea Constand.
I think the big takeaway is how nasty this trial has been. People keep saying, oh my gosh, why do women delay? Well, this is the reason women delay.
Cosby faces up to 10 years in prison on each of the 3 charges.
A Buffalo man accused of using drugs to trap and sell women appeared before a judge today. 29-year-old Miguel Parilla is facing several felonies. He was first arrested back in March after a traffic stop in which police found Parilla's drugs in a passenger's purse, they say. Days later, he was arrested again after Erie County deputies linked him to a deadly overdose on Grand Island. He's also accused of exploiting 3 women with the help of heroin. News 4's Jen Schatz attended today's hearing. At 5, you'll hear what the defense is also saying about this case.
Convicted animal abusers will now have to register in Chautauqua County. County legislators voted unanimously last night to create an animal abuse offenders registry posted online. The registry will list the names, addresses, and photos of convicted offenders for 15 years. Under the new law, shelters and community members will be legally required to check the registry before they adopt out any animals. The vote happened just weeks after a disturbing crime in Jamestown. Police say they arrested a man for hanging his family's dog from a tree.
I've been doing this for almost 25 years. This is one of the most disturbing things that I have ever seen. Anyone that would harm a defenseless animal, I have some very serious concerns about what else they would do.
Grant funds to enhance voting opportunities to persons.
The law passed points out, quote, people who abuse animals are statistically more likely to abuse animals again and to commit violent crimes against humans. Niagara County already has a similar registry. Lawmakers have also considered starting a state registry.
Well, turning now to your forewarned forecast. We started off the day similar to how we ended yesterday. Dreary and kind of wet and rainy, but the sun came out.
Beautiful.
And it is out to stay.
It's very bright out there today. Feels nice.
What do you think, Andrew?
I think you're absolutely right. It does look beautiful. It feels pretty nice out there. It's not the warmest day, and that's in large part because of that breeze, a noticeable breeze we've had sticking around all afternoon so far. That's going to calm down a bit later on tonight. But we've got a brief window of quiet weather here right now through early tomorrow before things turn a little bit more unsettled for the upcoming weekend. So enjoy this sunshine while it's here. Looking at mainly clear skies and just a few fair weather clouds for that drive home. Little area of high pressure sneaking in between 2 systems, one departing. That was the source of the showers last night and some early morning clouds. And we've got some moisture brewing at the bottom of your screen there and a cold front to the west. Those 2 will be interacting this weekend, and we've got some unsettled weather associated with that. Temperatures outside right now, most areas enjoying some 50s up in Niagara Falls, Albion, Batavia, but we do have that breeze keeping the lakeshore communities a little bit cooler in Lake Erie and especially downtown Buffalo. 47 at the airport, likely just a little bit cooler immediately downtown. And again, that breeze has been noticeable, upwards of 10 to 20 miles an hour. At last check, a wind gust at the airport at 31. So definitely taking the edge off of that sunshine, but all in all, a pretty pleasant day. As the breeze calms down tonight, temperatures fall through the 40s and back into the 30s. Seasonably cool is what we're looking for tonight, staying above freezing certainly. And then tomorrow afternoon, Even warmer, a beautiful end to the work week. Many areas enjoying upper 50s and even some low 60s, although some of you may see a little bit of rain shower activity associated with that. Coming up in your full forewarned forecast, I'll let you know where I expect those showers. We'll talk more about that unsettled weekend and which areas may even see some minor snow coatings on the way.
Andrew, thank you. And remember, you can get the latest forecast in the palm of your hands anytime. Just download our Forewarn weather app. It has hourly forecasts you can customize to your neighborhood and our live Forewarn Doppler radar. It is free for your phone or your tablet.
Hit and run crashes happen every single minute in the United States, adding up to an estimated 682,000 per year. That's according to a new study just released from AAA. The study shows those crashes killed more than 2,000 people in 2016, and that also is a record high. Most of the victims were pedestrians and cyclists.
It's an eye-opening case study. The data are discouraging, but hopefully it's enough to open our eyes and have us be a little bit more alert out on the road and pay attention for those bicyclists and pedestrians.
Every state has a law making it illegal to leave the scene of a crash. AAA hopes the new information will make drivers more alert on the roads.
Across our state, officers are cracking down today on drivers who illegally pass school buses. It's part of an effort called Operation Safe Stop. It's illegal to pass a school bus while its red lights are flashing. Still, thousands of people do it. It's estimated 50,000 cars pass school buses across the state, breaking the law every day. Bus drivers we spoke to say they've seen too many close calls in Western New York.
We see it. It happens every single day just in our organization. It's scary. It's very scary for the kids. It's scary for us.
News 4's Angela Christoforos went on a ride-along with an Erie County Sheriff's Sergeant to try to catch drivers breaking the law. She'll have a full report, including the punishment for illegally passing a school bus. That's coming up on News 4 at 5:30.
Well, you probably expect the information that you provide to the DMV to stay private. But New York State has been selling your registration information for decades. Now, here's one of the other big problems. You cannot opt out. That is part of both state and federal laws. The state sells things like your name, your address, your vehicle registration information, and the state is also keeping the companies that buy that information a secret.
When you're talking about breaches of security and the breach of trust, I think this is a breach by New York State. They are breaching the public's trust.
Coming up tonight on News 4 at 6 o'clock, you'll hear how local and state leaders are working to allow drivers to opt out of having their information sold to the highest bidder. Plus, you'll hear from a cybersecurity expert who will tell us what could happen if your information gets into the wrong hand. Those details and much more, again, coming up in this special report tonight on News 4 at 6 o'clock.
It's very interesting. One question I have right off the bat after hearing that is, how did you find this out? How do you find that information and whose information is online?
So Erie County Clerk Mickey Kearns had made this an issue about a month or so ago when he asked people if they were even aware that the state was selling their registration information to the highest bidder. So I started looking a little bit more into it, hearing from the DMV. There are rules, there are regulations. I'll lay all of that out tonight on that special report at 6 o'clock. And you'll hear some pretty startling things, especially from that cybersecurity expert, about what companies do to re-aggregate this data so that they know exactly who you are and, more importantly, where and how to find you.
Yikes. Wow. Very interesting. We're looking forward to it. Also coming up tonight on News 4 at 6:30, we're talking to newly elected state assemblyman Eric Bowen. The school teacher won the special election Tuesday night. He'll now represent voters in the 142nd district. He's a registered Democrat but ran on the Republican ticket. Coming up in News 4 at 6:30, we sit down with him one-on-one to discuss his priorities. Again, that's coming up tonight on News 4 at 6:30 on the CW23. Still to come on News 4 at 4, it's all things football as we count down to the NFL draft. We have you covered from who the Bills are hoping to get to how New Era is playing a big role. We'll also give you all the details on our draft special coming up tonight.